What's poppin', everybody? Oh my gosh, this is our very first official episode of Hoopin' with Mike and Brian. Today, we're talking about a lot, but I want to introduce the people of this podcast, Mike and Brian, myself on the main mic, Michael Mohey, and over here,
Brian McCoolin. What's going on, everybody? Excited to be here. This is just like a little dream of ours, talking hoops with my boy. A little background about me from Cresco, New Jersey. Shout out to everyone back home. I know everyone's listening. Hey, Mom. I played basketball all my life. Big New York Knicks fan. They're my guy. They're my team, I mean. And, my favorite player is Russell Westbrook. We'll get into that later. But, Mike.
Big. I was a military kid growing up. But big Miami guy at 305. Shout out to 305. But I got to give a special shout out to my parents. They gave me life. They gave me this thing, gave me my opportunity in my life that, hey, man, I'm living this dream. I'm here on this wonderful podcast with you, Brian. Hey, this is just the beginning, and we are going to take off. I promise this week we're going to take off.
Also, one more thing. Be sure to follow the IG at the Hoopin Podcast, and more platforms coming soon.
Yes. We are trying to get on every single platform, and we want to be able to, have people tune in, listen. This is definitely not going to be a podcast where it's just, we're going to bore you with stats. We're going to bore you with just saying the same old things that, not saying anything, not shots or anything at ESPN, but, none of that boring stuff. We're going to get into stuff. We're going to talk, and we're going to do our thing. I mean, let's start out about, I know we talked about where we're from, but let's talk about some basketball history so people don't think we're just some bums talking about some basketball. But what's your basketball history, Brian?
Played basketball all my life. Right when I was born, it feels like I started playing basketball. Played all the way to senior year of high school. I don't want to brag, first team all-league. Senior year, could have played college ball. Here I am right now talking hoops at West Virginia. Shout out to my boy specifically, Andre. I know he's tuned in right now. That's it, man. How about you, Mike?
Hey, no, man. I mean, I've been playing basketball for a while. I mean, at first, I was a big baseball guy. I grew up more playing baseball. But, I mean, I was always been a sports guy. But I fell in love with basketball so deeply, especially in the era of, 2003 when LeBron, D-Wade, that's my boy D-Wade, the Flash came in the league and stuff like that. So, but, man, I played high school ball, loved the game, and, dreams and aspirations of playing, college ball or even playing the big leagues and stuff like that, even overseas. But, hey, man, I get to still be connected with basketball and talk about it with my guy Brian over here. Sure. So, but, hey, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Monday was crazy.
15 games.
All teams of the NBA, of the National Basketball Association.
In one night.
It was historic. I don't think they've done something like this. No? And then what was crazy is League Pass was giving all those games for free. Yeah. So if you didn't tune in, you missed on some good games. There were some good games. My Heat lost game winning 3. But there was some good games. Really, the only game I watched was the Heat game. But I got to go back, watch some highlights. It was a nice little night. I mean, some disappointing things. I mean, but we'll definitely preface that. But what were your thoughts on that 15-9?
Well, I'm obviously happy the Knicks won. They played the T-Wolves, which, we'll get into that a little later. But, I'll take anyone at this point. The Knicks, 5-5. Not great. We're pretty mid-team. But another matchup that we were talking about earlier before we got on was, I was tuned into the Rockets Magic game. Interested to see that. I was watching that Jabari Smith, Paolo matchup.
But even though that game was good, because I watched the highlights of that game and watched, kind of breakdown of that game. And it was a fun, enjoyable game. But it wasn't what I was expecting, because I was expecting, this is Jabari Smith versus Paolo. And Paolo's been killing it over the last couple weeks. Yeah, I think he scored 36 the other night. And he's just been on a tear, man. I think at this point, if he continues, I think Rookie of the Year. Automatic. 100%. Automatic. And I think 100%. He beats a lot of historic records. He's been just destroying record after record. And it's enjoyable. And especially from somebody, that likes to claim, Orlando, the 407, like myself, even though, yes, I'm a big 305 Miami guy. I originate from Orlando. I have family, shout out to the Mohey and Osorio family and everything. But that's my roots are there, and I always like to see the Magic succeed or actually have some hype around this. And man, it's great to watch them play, but it's just I don't know if they're just missing something or coaching's not going right. But I mean, they're the worst league, worst. I think they have the worst.
Yeah, they're sitting at 2-9. But what I would like to say. Yes, they're 2-9, last in the Eastern Conference team. But last team in the Eastern Conference. But when I watch them play, I don't think they're the worst team in the league. I actually really like the positionless lineup where they have Paolo. They have Bol who's been tearing it up. They got Bamba. They got so much size, which like maybe they haven't played together, so that could be a problem. But like I'm watching this team, and look, Magic people aren't always tuned in on the Orlando Magic. But I think in like 3 to 5 years, this team can actually be a serious team to watch.
They can be, and that's just the thing. And I think that's just what Orlando Magic fans like they hope for, because that's always been the thing within Orlando is that like we draft these guys, and I'm saying we, Lord, but they draft these guys, and it's like they expect a lot, and it's good because these guys come out and they're stars. I mean. Their last two first picks. What you had Shaq, you went to the finals.
Dwight,
you had Dwight, you went to the finals.
People forget Dwight was the best center in the league for a long time. And everything. Led them to the year it was supposed to be Kobe, LeBron in the finals. Dwight messed that up. No, I don't want to say mess it up, but he took down LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, and
yes, he did.
Obviously lost to Kobe, but
he actually came out on a podcast recently talking about that. I didn't listen to that.
Was it
but he
the
was
All the
talking
Smoke
about
podcast? I think.
I believe so, and he came out talking about how he wanted to go after LeBron and stuff like that, because LeBron's been LeBron since he came in the league and everything.
Before that series ended, the Orlando Cleveland series, people were already writing off the Magic. They're already saying Kobe versus LeBron. Obviously, that's going to set fuel to the fire. Like if you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, like at that point, anyone can beat anybody. Mm-hmm. So I just people forget how good Dwight Howard was. Mm-hmm. Like he really revolutionized that center position.
That center position, because now we look at guys now. It's a positionless league now, and guys are just killing. Especially with Paolo on Magic, man. He controls. He almost when he's in, he has the ball, and like I've never really seen it like this, where like he has the ball 90%.
He looks like he's been in the league for 5-10 years.
5-10 years.
Like
he's
crazy.
He's big. He can get rebounds. He facilitates everything. But just watching that rest of that team, I really believe, and I've seen this in posts and everything, they need to do this big lineup.
Oh, 100%.
Because especially with Franz Wagner literally controlling the ball, dude can facilitate. Man's not even looking for his shot at first. He's like, oh, let me get my teammates involved in everything. And it's a beautiful thing, but I don't know if they just lack on defense. These guys aren't really wanting to play defense, and they're all focused on offensive end, because when I was watching them play the Rockets, it was like the Rockets were just scoring, doing whatever they wanted. They were getting fast breaks. They were stopping them on the defensive end, and it was just like, it's like, And this is what happens. A lot of these games have been close. Currently, right now, I know we're going to talk about games that are happening tonight or even right now, but they're having a close game right now with Dallas. It's 79-78 in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. They can compete is the thing, but I don't understand this issue that you're 2-9 to start the season.
And look, not to steer away from the Magic, but I'd like to see. They're going toe to toe with the Mavericks, and I was watching the Mavericks game. I forgot who they played. This was, I believe, Friday or Saturday night, and when I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, the Mavericks did what the Lakers should have done. They put shooters, players that would fit well with Doncic around him. Like Josh Green, many people might not know who he is, but he's shooting 67% from three.
Isn't he leading the league?
Leading the league in three. They got Reggie Bullock. They got Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith too, Tim Hardaway Jr. Like they got guys who they don't need the ball. Like look, at the end of the day, on the Mavericks, the ball is in Luka's hands 99% of the game. That's what it looks like, and they have guys who looks like that they bought into that system. So that's what I think. That's what they did. What the Lakers should have done with LeBron. You don't have to take the most talented players, but you got to put the players that you think will fit best in that system. So it's honestly, if the Magic can beat the Mavericks, that's as good as it can get, because I really think the Dallas Mavericks can go really far this year in that sense.
They can, and it's almost like they need to. It's like I feel like the hype around them in a way is like a little weird because it's like people want them to be great, like want them because especially how Luka's been a monster this year, literally
every
almost
game
averaging.
He's 36 points per game, I believe.
36. He's leading the league with that, and he's almost averaging a trip dub.
It's crazy.
How are you doing that on a team that I mean, and this is what's great. I think it's a good point that like this is what the Lakers probably should have done with LeBron. Support around him that are complement.
Exactly, because if you just look at the Dallas Mavericks roster and you don't know much about basketball, you're gonna think they're a bad team. Outside of Luka. That's not a knock on the other players, but they don't have like 3 All-Stars. They have Luka. And the one thing I don't want to criticize Luka too much. My question about Luka is if he really wants to win or gets to a spot where he can really contend. I'm not saying this team can't contend, but if he wants to get to a place where he's winning multiple championships, I don't know if he can play with another ball-dominant player. Because I just think when Luka's at his best, obviously the ball's in his hands 99% of the game.
No, of course.
But that's my one question about Luka. But hey, they made it to the Western Conference Finals last season. They beat the Suns, who were easily the best regular season team last year. Sure. Again, they're one series away from the NBA Finals. So
I mean, you could definitely tell. I'm looking at it right now, but you could definitely tell that team is shooting at a high rate because right now they're top 3. They are number 3 in the league in field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So they're taking smart shots. They're making their shots, and it's a beautiful thing because I mean, right now. They are sitting in the Western Conference at, they're sitting at 5th place. 6-3, which is where they want to be, especially with this team not having, I guess, the star calibers that everyone wish they have, but they have a good team. Yeah. Christian Wood's playing his role. I mean, Christian Wood,
that's a name.
And that was a great
because he comes off the bench. And I believe, and people, when you sign him, he has a pretty big contract, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I remember Jason Kidd said he wants Christian Wood to come off the bench. Doesn't want to be. He wants him to play his game, but off the bench. And people were critical of that. People thought he should have started, but I mean, it's working.
It's working.
It's working. And also another thing is Luka's averaging, I believe, 1.9 steals a game. Which people were I was critiquing his defense. I didn't think he was a good defender. I'm not saying steals is what makes you a great defender, but I think my one question about Luka is, can he defend?
Yeah, I think it's more of a. So not to get all into like the nitty gritty about playing defense, but like I think it's just more of the aggressiveness that Luka shows with the steals, because a lot of that could just be bad passes from people and he's just stealing it and stuff like that. But I've seen him kind of play a little bit on ball, and he can. I guess I could say in this league now, if you can at least contain your guy. At least stay in front of him and maybe make him miss some shots. I think you're on. You could be on a good side of being a good defender.
Yeah, and the thing I also love about Luka is this is probably more on the offensive end, but he plays at his own pace the entire game. Oh yeah, like
you cannot knock him off
he will go so slow. Mm-hmm. But he'll get a bucket every single time. It's fun to watch because you see guys like you look at like De'Aaron Fox, guys who like go at it the entire game, like running so fast up and down the floor, which is fun to watch. But honestly, I enjoy when it's slowed down, when Luka's just orchestrating that offense, but he does it at his own pace. It's like you kind of know what Luka's going to do, but you just can't stop it. Like he has this like fadeaway. I kind of think of Dirk when he does it. Yeah. Like you can't guard it. You just can't.
I think a lot of people should have copied that move because, like, I mean, I think it's just like how I've heard people say about the NFL. It's a copycat league. I think NBA could be the same, and there's some things that people are copycatting away, but they make it their own little thing. Like a lot of people talk about how the crossover came apart. You had guys like Isaiah Thomas, Tim Hardaway. Shout out Tim Hardaway when he played for the Heat great. But you had guys like them where it was just a regular 1-2, but then you had guys that came in like Allen Iverson, and it was I'm bringing it all the way out here, and I'm gonna shake with it, and I'm gonna cross you. So I love the way Luka plays, and I think he's a great player to watch, especially how much he's on a tear right now. But it's beautiful. Because then another thing I want to talk about Luka, and I think there's guys like this in the league, and I'm gonna say a name that's right now controversial, but we'll talk about that later. But Kyrie Irving, a guy like Kyrie Irving, he has a counter move for every little thing. Luka's not the fastest of guys. He's fast. He could turn on a little igniter and he could take off, but he has a counter move for everything. You can come off, he's gonna hit you with between the legs. I'm gonna go behind my back. I'm gonna hit you with a little step back. He has a counter move for everything. Guys like that are unstoppable to guard.
That's why I love watching Kyrie play. And the one thing that fascinates me the most about Kyrie is just he finishes at the rim. Like, it doesn't matter what angle, who's on him. It's the spin he puts on the ball is insane, crazy, and it's like he just makes it look so effortlessly that it's like sometimes I'm watching Kyrie Irving play. I'm not a huge Kyrie fan, but my jaw just drops. I'm like, that's crazy how he does it. He's a Jersey guy too, so
yeah, true. So let's. I wanna talk about this other game because I saw this game. I was watching this. I kept watching these highlights because just like the Magic, there's these teams right now that are struggling record-wise and aren't winning games. Some of them are close up like that, and some of them they're getting blown out. But I want to bring attention to the Detroit Pistons. They have a fascinating team to watch. Jaden Ivey is a guy. Guy for them. I believe he could be that next step for them. I believe he's that something, but they have such a good young core. And then what's funny is they have guys that are veterans that are around them. Like they have Bojan, who's an absolute sniper. Like he won't miss if he's on. But guys like Cade is killing it. Cade literally almost had a trip dub against the Thunder. Cade is killing it. Jaden Ivey's killing it. Bojan is crazy.
Bojan too. Isaiah Stewart too. He plays so hard. Like whenever I watch him play, I swear he gets every rebound. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But this Pistons team, again, another young team where I feel like we say this a lot about young teams, but I honestly believe in 3 to 5 years when Ivy takes those next steps, Cade is already kind of taking those next steps. He's really, moving up. I just think the Pistons can seriously. I think they can make a run for a playing spot this year. I don't know if they will. They're 3-8 right now, not sitting at a great spot. But like, I do think they can seriously make some noise. Honestly, I do believe that. And
No, I believe so. I mean, even when you said it out there before we started recording, I mean, they even have a guy like Sadiq Bey who could drop.
Sadiq Bey. He put up 50 points last year.
They have that caliber, and it's beautiful to watch because I really honestly think this league has a bright future.
100%.
Bright future with guys just. I mean, even on the other end, who the Pistons played, Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 33 and almost had a tripped up himself.
Yeah,
and I didn't get to see all the other guys that kind of went off for them. I mean, they had Trey Mann, who also was doing pretty good. Josh Giddey, I watched the highlights. Yeah. Josh Giddey wasn't really doing a lot, but I mean, I could understand from his view that he when he comes in, he's kind of like the guy that's just getting everyone involved. He's passing the ball around. He's putting his effort. Like, I mean, he played 24 minutes in the game. So
and Lou Dort also is probably one of the better defenders in the league.
Oh yeah.
And he could shoot from 3 too, which is But yeah, no, Shai's averaging what? I think he's averaging like 31 a game, roughly 30, 31.
I think he's top 5 in scoring right now.
The Thunder again. They are they have with the draft picks they have. Again. What I would like to bring up about the Thunder is the one thing I am worried about is like if they have all these top draft picks and all these top draft picks are as good as they're set out to be, they're not going to be able to keep all of them in the future.
Yeah, that's true. Very
but
valid.
Based on right now, that Shai's one of the best shooting guards in the league. I think he's up there. He's moving his way up there. I just think the Thunder. They have to win a little bit more, but Shai's actually been killing it.
Yeah. It's just when I look at this box score against the Pistons, I think it is the fact they need that other guy to really shine, and I think that's what they were hoping with Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
and it sucks that he went down, and I knew he was probably going to make an impact, and I believed in Chet.
Yeah,
because it was he was a unicorn, man. He was 7 foot, had handles, could shoot from the logo, and then could post you up, even though he's a stick. Really.
He looks like me, but he's 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall, and I think it could have been a really good add to this team because they needed that. Because I'm looking at this box score right now, and Shai obviously played the most minutes, played 38 minutes. So obviously he's on the court 99% of the time. Yeah, but no one else had. There's only 2 guys that had double digits other than Shai, which was Mike Muscala and Kenrich Williams. Yeah, those are your 2 big men. And Mike Muscala was just shooting threes. When I was watching the highlights, he was just really just catching wide open shots and just catch and shoot. It was easy. So I mean, it's not that Shai needs people to step up. It's just I think they need that other guy that's going to score for them because they can't really do a lot if it's just Shai trying to do everything because I think Shea can do everything. He's a good facilitator. He could pass the ball well, but then he could create his own shot. But if you're the only guy scoring on your team and everyone else is kind of just like,
win.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
In this league, you can't. But that also, just brings me to the Utah Jazz. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, sitting at 9-3. It looks like when you watch them play, I just think they're a team with no egos. They're just guys who have something to prove, whether they didn't get much of opportunity elsewhere, or they're just going out and balling. And they have, I believe it's they have like 6 guys averaging double digits. And that's the thing. The underrated part, which I feel like people don't understand, is when I saw the Timberwolves, when they traded Rudy Gobert to the T-Wolves and got Malik Beasley and all those guys, whatever, like the Timberwolves gave up all their role players. And as we've seen with like the Bucks and Warriors, like you can't just have 3 guys if you want to have championship aspirations. You need to have guys who will buy into that role. So that's what I like about this Utah Jazz team is like they're all kind of buying into the system, you can tell, and they have a role, and that's what they're doing. Like Lauri Markkanen is the primary scorer as of right now, I would say so.
And you wouldn't even think that looking at this team, especially with the history of this team. Lauri Markkanen just came on this team. If there was anybody that was going to be a main scorer on this team, would be Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, Clarkson.
Because he stayed on the team. Mike Conley has been on the team too, but Mike Conley, not saying that he's older in his age, but Mike Conley's more of I'm a pass point guard.
Like I was high on Colin Sexton too. That's why, when I thought the Cavs made that trade when they gave up Sexton, I thought I'm not saying Sexton can be your franchise player, like the guy you build around, but as a young point guard, no one's going to play harder than Colin Sexton. He can score the ball. And I just think if you're a young team, small market, Sexton's like he's going to embrace wherever he's at, I feel like. And look, Colin Sexton, he's averaging 15 points per game. Honestly, he was my preseason pick for most improved player. Like
his teammates taking that away.
Exactly.
With Lauri Markkanen, unfortunately, is how I'm looking at it, because Lauri Markkanen is killing.
Because I think he got drafted by Minnesota, traded to the Bulls. And he was unhealthy. Like he was hurt a lot, I believe, in the beginning part of it. So now he's fully healthy. He's easily the number 1 scorer. So it's interesting to see that he's taking advantage of putting up 22 a game. So teams like that are fun to watch. Where they don't have like one. It's not like you're just watching LeBron or Luka just dribble, do whatever they want the entire game. Like they're just guys. They move the ball, they score, they do the dirty stuff. It's just like. I don't know. I enjoy watching things like that.
Yeah, no, I enjoy this. Well, I really enjoy watching this Utah Jazz team because I think I've said this before off record or even when we did something before, but this team, they all have chips on their shoulders. You kind of prefaced it. These are guys are all like they've all been traded. You have guys like Malik Beasley was traded from the Timberwolves. Traded Lauri Markkanen from the Bulls. I think they signed Kelly Olynyk, or they.
He came from where? Did he come from Detroit? Was he? He was a part of that trade, the Bogdan trade, I believe.
Bojan, yes.
Yeah.
So he came from Detroit. You have Colin Sexton from the Cavs, and you have Talon Horton-Tucker from the Lakers and all that stuff.
I was also high on Ochai, the guy from Kansas.
Oh, Ochai Ojabi.
Yeah, because we saw him. I remember seeing him last year when he came to the Collie, and I was like, that guy. I think he'll be in the league a while. He's like one of those guys who I think he gets all his teammates better. He goes in there. He's only getting roughly like 10 minutes a game, 11 minutes a game, whatever it is. But when I see him play, I'm like, this guy's. If he can continue to progress, I think he can really make his mark in this league.
I mean, who's their coach again? Because their coach is really good. Because I'm looking at this box score, and I'm not even looking at their stats. The stats.
Oh, Will Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came from Boston. Did he come from Boston?
I believe. I don't know the history of the coach, but he's doing such a good job, especially like they're number 1 in the West. Another thing is the minute separation. Like nobody's really playing the highest minutes except for probably like their 2 main scorers, which is Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen. But that against the Lakers, they only played 28 and 27 minutes. Everyone else is playing amongst 20 minutes, getting 15 minute time on the court, and they're proving their thing. I mean, you have guys like, I think I dropped this little stat line with you. I don't know if it's factual yet. I could check right now, but Kelly Olynyk is top 5, top 10 in the league in steals.
I think he was top 10. Yeah.
So it's crazy to see that. You could see, and you could also see it on the stats if you're a stat person or if you're more of an eye test. You're watching the game and stuff, but these guys are putting it on the line. These guys are going out there and they're like, you know what? Everyone's doubting us. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it right back to your face, and I'm gonna shove it in your face, and I'm gonna show you that we have what it takes. And I think that a lot of these guys have that chip on their shoulder, and I think I think it's a beautiful thing, especially watching this team literally get doubted so hard, and
because everyone's like, they obviously, you trade your 2 best players, you're thinking they're gonna tank, especially for Victor Wembanyama. But I like if I'm the Jazz players, I'm like, I'm not here to like get some other guy come in here and take care of that franchise. Like the Clarkson, like Conley, they're veteran guys, they're veteran players. Like they know how to play the game. Like Jordan Clarkson is actually real. He's one of the. He's not. I don't know how to say it. He's a fun player to watch because he can kind of score at all levels, I think. And they just have guys who like they're not going to allow some. They don't want to lose. Like obviously, sitting at 9-3. I don't know. People. It's like ESPN talks more about the Lakers who are 2-9 or whatever it is, 2-8, than the Jazz who are 9-3. Which I get it, LeBron and all, but it's like. That's what I like about this Jazz team.
It's almost like you bang your head against a wall. When
exactly.
You keep hearing about
how much are we going to talk about?
LeBron. And listen, nothing to take away from LeBron. And we might as well segue to this because they did play the Jazz and they lost. But love LeBron. And to me, opinion-wise, just my own thing, I think he will end being the number 1 scorer all time.
Oh, yeah.
I believe so.
No, he will.
Especially, I know a lot of people have been kind of talking about how the last few games he's been kind of like, not like shooting well, but he's still like dropping 20 points. He's still doing what LeBron needs to do. It's just this team has an identity crisis because now that whole Russell Westbrook thing is like gone now because now he's averaging 17, 18 points now,
like and there's
that's
what I'd like. Yeah, because I was telling you before, like I think that whole Russell Westbrook scapegoat has got to finish. Like we saw even when Russ didn't play, they were still bad, and then when Russ comes back, starts coming off the Russ finally did but everyone was telling him to do, come off the bench, play with the second unit. He did that. He's balling out. They're still losing. So it's like. Again, which frustrates me because as I've said earlier, like Russell Westbrook's he's undoubtedly my favorite player, but so it's like everyone wants to talk about Russell Westbrook when he's doing bad, and when the Lakers are losing, it's Russell Westbrook's fault. And then he finally does what he's supposed to do, comes off the bench, puts up numbers, and I feel like they're still not talking about it enough. Again, the last thing the Lakers need is more people to talk about them.
It's funny when people do that, and I laugh at this when people do this. They talk so much crap about a player, and then when he starts performing, everyone starts crying. They're like, "Oh, well, that's what we expected." It's just like, okay, where was all that? Yeah. Where was all the energy?
It's frustrating. It hurts because, like, again, the reason I love Russ is mainly because he goes out there. He just plays with so much passion. Like no one is out hustling Russ. And the first couple games of the Lakers season, Charles Barkley said it. It looked like Russ lost his joy, which honestly kind of hurt me to see that because I saw that too. He just couldn't tell he wasn't. I don't want to say he wasn't playing to the best of his abilities because I know it's pretty obvious that he wasn't. But it's like you could tell there's just something going on there. And when he finally brought that joy back, the numbers really escalated. They went up, and obviously the Lakers still haven't won. But I just don't. It's not fair to Russell Westbrook because this is what's going to happen. Russell Westbrook in how many years is going to retire, and then everyone's going to say, "Oh, like people are so unfairly criticize you." Like obviously they did, but it's like why don't we appreciate them when they're doing it now?
That's true. So. That's very valid. I understand that. And it's a little crazy, but hey, that's the world we live in, and people got to make headlines, people got to make stories, and people want to see reactions out of people, and just like us too. I think we enjoy more of just the game. We enjoy players being players and performing. Like yes, we need to sometimes be critical when it's just like consistently being bad and consistently like, hey man, like it's not that we're trying to be negative. It's just more like, hey, like we don't like. Where's this guy?
Yeah.
Where's this guy? Where's this guy that we saw with the Thunder, with somewhat of the Rockets? Like, even though with the Rockets it was but, where was this? Like, we want to see this. Like, we know you are capable of doing that. And, I feel like with the Lakers, I feel like with them, it's still an identity crisis, and that is a lot for me saying when I'm a Heat fan, and right now we are having the craziest of identity crisis. So, but before we get to that, because I know we wanted to talk about our teams, I wanted to talk about your Knicks and we could talk about my Heat. But the Bucks lost their first game of the season.
Saw that against the Hawks.
Without Trae Young. Interesting. But what was good? No, I watched the highlights of this game, and it was a good little game because we got to see a guy that they drafted lottery pick, right? Was 16? What lottery picks? What,
AJ
1
Griffin.
through 15?
I think he was 15. No, it's 14. But
He was 16.
He was 16. Yeah. Lottery
AJ Griffin
14.
was 16. Straight out of Duke dropped 24, I believe 24, 25. I know DeJounte Murray dropped 25.
He had 24.
He had 24. You know how to plus minus was a 28. Shot good field goal percentage.
Yeah,
man.
that reminds me. But the Hawks. Before we get into the games, I just want to say one thing. So I from what I've seen from the Hawks, from Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, I honestly really love that backcourt.
And a lot of people doubted that backcourt.
I said it when we first were on the sports page. But so when I saw that trade, I thought it was really good because I thought Trae Young lacks in what DeJounte Murray excels in, and vice versa. Like DeJounte Murray is a much better defender, and Trae Young's obviously a better shooter. And and I believe that so Trae Young, that backcourt, so that they're both averaging over 8 assists per game, which is actually the first time since '84 when with John Lucas and Johnny Moore. They are the first backcourt since 1983 to both average over 8 assists. So it shows that like. Not only are they're both obviously ball dominant players, but they're still distributing the ball. And look, if people like AJ Griffin go off for 25, it makes their job a lot easier.
And I think it complements the way Trae Young plays because even if Trae Young doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's a deadly shooter. Yeah. So his jump shot is more like I could catch it and just let it go.
Exactly.
Let it go. And he can score really fast off that because DeJounte Murray is such a great facilitator where he's gonna put it right in this right in the bread basket.
And I love how he defends too, DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray's especially all those videos over the summer.
Yeah, with Paolo
throwing the ball at him, getting in his face.
Yeah.
But DeJounte's a dog, and I believe this Hawks team. I don't know where are they sitting right now in the East. I believe they're fourth in the East, right? 7-3. So
I think
that doubt that they had of this backcourt is working out.
I'm all for that backcourt. I think they're really scary.
And they have good compliments. I mean, even Big O. Okongwu, I don't want to be butchering his name. Okongwu, he made a couple key baskets in the game, late in the game. Even though they were kind of rushing away from the Milwaukee Bucks, but Okongwu was making some good rebounds, getting good rebounds and putting, especially on the offensive. He's getting good offensive rebounds and putting the ball back in, and they were able to stay away. But I mean, they have good other key players that come in and make shots, but. It's great to just see this Hawks team kind of like do good so far and nothing's going too crazy. I mean, John Collins had his little regular 14 points. I mean,
I'm not a bit. I was never high on John Collins. I always
Baptist.
I always thought like he always would put up numbers, but like when I would watch him play, I never thought he made a big impact on the game. I don't know what it was. I just never thought like this guy, because I remember he was holding out for that big contract, and if I'm the Hawks, I'm not paying him that much money. Yeah. That's what I thought.
I mean, now at this point, not that he can't make an impact, it's just your impact won't be as big, much because now you have DeJounte and Trae.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that's what I thought. I always thought, like, that's why, again, I know we're going to talk about the Knicks later, but that's why I thought, like, same with Julius Randle, always put up numbers. I just never thought he made a huge impact on the game, you know?
That's very, very true. I mean, even with, and I like this pickup that they had in the draft with AJ Griffin, because when I was watching him play, man, he could create his own bucket. Man was doing his thing. He was getting rebounds.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to give the younger guys a shot, you know?
You do. And especially with the young guys that they have, like they still have DeAndre Hunter. They still have Jarrett Culver. They still have Justin Holiday. He's been in the league for a minute, but they have the Holiday brothers. Think about it. They have Aaron and Justin Holiday. They would just need Drew, but he was on the opposite end. It was great to see that you had three brothers on the court at some point. Also, which was cool.
Capella's I think the perfect center to play with Murray, DeJounte Murray, and
Trae.
And Trae, because look, he's not gonna. He's just gonna get rebounds, block shots, and dunk.
Exactly.
You know.
And to be honest, that's all he like. Nothing against Clint Capella, but that's all he needs to do.
Exactly.
He signs big contracts, and he could drop like 20 in a game just by literally pick and roll plays.
Yeah, or just put back dunks.
Dunks. Exactly.
And that's why you don't need to. You don't need to have this crazy center. You have to. My biggest thing is with the teams that want to contend, you have to just have guys that gel together. That's more important than the talent. Role players, guys who are going to buy into this system. Yeah. That's why I think the Bucks won the championship, because they just had a bunch of role players who knew their role, would go out there and do what they were supposed to do. Because obviously the ball is going to run through Giannis, you know. Yeah. So it's like you just have to have guys. That's the problem with the Lakers. So again, I think if the Hawks can just surround Murray and Trae Young with guys who will buy into the system, which, they're 7-3. It's,
And why wouldn't you want to not buy into the system when DeJounte Murray and Trae Young guys are going to give you
They're going to facilitate. They're both averaging 8+ assists. Like, it's fun to watch teams that have stars who are willing to play with other stars. You know what I mean? And like I'm not like they still have more to prove. It's been 10 games, but like I'm high on the Hawks. I'll tell you that.
That's good. I think that's a good thing. I mean, I like talking about the Hawks. It's funny that they always make the playoffs and they lose to my Heat. So we'll seg that way straight into our teams that played on Monday night. Let's. You want to go first? You want to talk about your Knicks? Let's talk about your Knicks.
Go for it. Well, one thing some stat I saw before the show was how mid the Knicks are so far. So look, you guys are gonna have to listen to this one carefully. Sitting at 5-5. We're sitting at 5-5 in the first 10 games. We are 4-4 versus the East, 1-1 versus the West. In October we went 3-3, and so far in November we're 2-2. We've scored 1,150 points this season. We've let up 1,150 points this season. We are 16th in offensive rating, 16th in defensive rating. So, that's as mid as you can get. I know. I saw this. I'm like, wow.
When you told me that, I think I said this before. I thought of the Thanos thing, perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
I want perfectly balanced.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's how the Knicks are.
This is what frustrates me about the Knicks. The Knicks are never good enough to contend, but they're never bad enough to tank. Ever. And the 1 year we didn't win the lottery. We didn't win that Zion lottery. But okay, so talk about the Knicks. We beat the Timberwolves Monday night, which we'll get into that later. But I was never high on the Timberwolves trade. Still, RJ Barrett put up 22, 5-5. I've said it before. I personally think RJ's overrated. I think it's maybe too early to label him as overrated. But when I watch him play, he misses just easy layups. And when you're, I don't know, maybe 6'7", 6'8", roughly. I don't know his exact height. Yeah. But he just misses shots he should make, and we just pay him to that big contract. And Zion, obviously when Zion's healthy, and John Morant have both made significant jumps. And I'm waiting to see that RJ Barrett. I thought this was the year for that. And it's been 10 games. He hasn't been terrible, but he's been like the same RJ Barrett I've seen over and over. Another thing, I think Julius Randle, I'm getting reminiscence of that year we were the 4 seed and lost to the Hawks in the playoffs. I don't want to talk about that, but I wasn't high on him going into the season because, as I said earlier, he's a guy who puts up numbers, but I don't think makes a huge impact. But like, he's playing much better than I thought he would this year. And again, I will say Obi Toppin too. I love Obi Toppin. I think we got to give him more of a chance to play. He had 15 last night in 26 minutes. So giving him more minutes, he's producing. But that's why I'm not a huge Coach Tibbs fan. Personally, for me, I want to move on from that. I just think, in terms of progressing the younger players,
if we have any Chicago listeners,
I know,
they're probably punching the air right now because they're like, "Wow, you don't like Coach Tibbs?" I do not like
Tibbs at all. I'm just not a fan. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of him. I just don't think he's the right guy for this team. Like he's a don't get me wrong, he's a good coach. Got good years in Chicago.
You think you need more of like a offensive?
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like our defense is pretty solid. Like obviously it's mid because everything about us is mid right now. But I just think I actually really love the Jalen Brunson signing. I was a little
working out.
Yeah, exactly. I was a little low on it. Again, I think he's worth that much money. I don't know, but he's come in here. He's facilitated the ball. It looks like the players like to play with him. And aside from that, I just think hopefully we start being this mid team. I just want to start winning, or I want to lose enough to get a first pick, but that's not going to happen. Yeah. But but like for real, I don't know. I think Cam Reddish, he's been playing decent. I was a huge Cam Reddish guy when he came out of Duke. I thought he was going to be great.
I think here's the thing I have to say that you brought up Cam Reddish because I was about to say this. I'm looking at the box score right now, and Cam Reddish had 28 minutes played, and RJ Barrett 36 minutes played. Mm-hmm. They both shot below 40% from the field.
That's what I'm saying.
Cam Reddish didn't have a lot of shots. He only shot 8 shots. RJ Barrett shot 18.
That's the thing about RJ. That I'm not. He might put up 20, but he takes 8. I'm not a fan of volume shooters at all. I just think you pay him that money, you take 18 shots, you should have more than 20 points. That's what I think. Sure.
You should have more than 30 almost.
Exactly. Yeah. And because look, if you give Luka 30 shots, I'm not saying RJ's Luka, but I just think he has to start putting up he has to start doing more with the opportunity he's getting, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, even if you think about it, he was 7 for 18, RJ Barrett was.
Yeah.
But he was 5 from 6 from free throws. So if you take those 5 free throws away, he, has 17 points in the game?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting that type of production from him that everyone expects him to have, because then you have a guy like Cam Reddish that comes from not really playing at all with the Hawks, kind of just dwindled off, and then finally gets a chance with the Knicks. And it's like in spurts. It's really weird. It's in spurts. But I think both of them have that where it's like it's really in like spurts. It's like, oh wow, RJ Barrett just dropped 30. Shot so consistent. Cam Reddish just dropped 20. He was making shots. But then it's like the next game, it's just like they scored like 10 points.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to shout out my boy Riley, big Knicks fan. Just had to put that out there. We talk about every Knicks game usually. But And one other thing is, I think we have to give Emmanuel Quickly more minutes. I like Quickly. I think sometimes he gets a little ahead of himself, and you'll see him shoot like a James Harden-esque 3. I'm like, dude, relax. But other than that, we're sitting at 5-5. I don't think it's been a terrible start. I think we're about to where I expected them to be, just in the middle of the pack, where we are every single year.
Hey, man, at least you're an honest New York fan, look, because you got other people saying, we should be the best or something, or we stink so bad.
Yeah,
it's just
like we're mid. That's the way I'll phrase this up, but I'll end it on that. But let's move on to your Heat. What's going on with that? I know, hey, we're better than the Heat, though. I'll tell you that. That's the one thing we got.
Wow, way to drop that in there. We're struggling, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna say I'm ashamed of being a Heat fan or anything. Like, it's just we fumbled the bag against the Trailblazers. I feel like the Trailblazers made a quick little move at the end to make that final shot, but they were smart because that last. And I'm gonna get into the game, but that last shot, that Josh Hart shot in the corner, yes, he was wide open. Yes, it was a smart decision because they could have took the timeout after Max Strus made that little contested 3 in the corner, but they didn't because they saw the clientele we had on our court, and we still had Duncan Robinson on the court. We still had Kyle Lowry's a defensive guy and everything, and he was our highest scorer. No, he wasn't. He was not our highest scorer, but he was our leader. Like our most main guy, because he had 8 points.
The scoring was distributed pretty equally, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Our team is I'm not gonna say we're like the Lakers, but we have an identity crisis on offense where it's just like we're facilitating the ball, and I think we're doing great at facilitating the ball, but it's just either guys. It's not even that they're not making their shots. It's just. I don't know if it's not enough. Are we doing too much on a defensive end where guys are not doing so much on the offensive end? Because I don't know. Like everyone, you had Gabe Vincent that had 15, and I love Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is a dude, and I think he can come in and give us good minutes, good play, and he's aggressive. Everything. You had Kyle Lowry that had 15. You had Max Strus with 16. You had Bam with 16. Jimmy was 16. Like I'm glad we are a team. That is, everyone's getting the ball, everyone's facilitating, but we're not winning games. We're losing. We keep losing. We keep losing these close little knit games.
Yeah, I don't want to back-to-back losses for 2 or 3 points.
2 or 3 points. I don't want to keep having I could understand we're in it, we're fighting. That's always been the Heat culture. It's always been we're gonna fight.
Because you also held Dame to 19, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we will always do that. I think that's one of our main identities. One of the
stopping the stars
is stopping the stars. We're gonna contain your main guy, and we're gonna just contain. But then it's just like the other team doesn't have to worry because it's just like, all right, you can contain our best guy, but when it comes to the end, we might score more than y'all because y'all really don't have anyone that's just gonna try to blow it up or anything, or even try to get a bucket at the end. Because, I mean, D-Rob, oh my gosh, Duncan Robinson, I love you, man. I love you, and your podcast is great. It's just I do not know, man. He only was 3 for 9 from the field. Shot 33%, and that was only threes. Just think about it. It was all threes. All of it was just threes. So it's just like,
and you're paying him that money too,
Oh, don't get me started on that money. I don't know, because it's like at the time frame when we gave him that money, it was like, I'm not gonna say it was reasonable or anything, but he was coming off of a great year.
He had a solid year.
He led the league in 3-point percentage. He was doing good. It's just he plays what I call Ole defense. It's Ole, I'm going to let you right by me and everything. And going back to what I said about the ending of that game, the Trailblazers saw who we had on the court. They saw Duncan Robinson. They knew that Duncan Robinson is a liability on defense. So we're like, all right, we're not going to call timeout. Give it a Dame. Dribble up the court. They're going to probably come bring a double team, and someone's going to be open. And that's exactly what happened, but it was the wrong double team. They had Jimmy obviously guarding Dame, rightfully so, because he was containing the whole game. He comes up the court, passes half court. Duncan Robinson starts running up, gets in the way, pretty much, kind of almost cutting off. I know he was meaning to cut off Damian Lillard, but he pretty much cut off Jimmy and set a screen on Jimmy. And then Damian was about to turn the corner, and I'm guessing since Kyle Lowry was in that corner guarding Josh Hart, he saw it as, it's a logical point. I might as well stop him from scoring than Josh Hart, which then led the wide open three. Damian Lillard passes the corner, and we lose. And I'm just sick and tired of losing these close games, because I'm going to kind of segue this as these close games to another team that's been struggling close, but it's been due to the refs.
Sacramento.
Is the Sacramento Kings. I enjoy talking about my Heat, but I know we need to change some things. I know we need to, and I'm not saying change things. I think we just need to find more of an offensive identity, because right now I don't know what to think. I believe in my team. I know we always come from this thing where we don't have this identity, and then we change it, and then everyone kind of just be quiet about the Miami Heat. But I'm gonna segue into this. Man, these refs. The Sacramento Kings have lost 2 games, and yes, one of them was to my Miami Heat. Tyler Hero I did watch that video over and over again, and yes,
when he traveled, I believe
he traveled, and the Kings lost, and then just on Monday,
Kevin Hurt. Well, yeah, because I'm not a Kings fan, but that actually hurt me seeing that, because A, the ref is right next to Kevin Huerter and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's guarding him, correct? B, fouls him. He fouled him twice, and it's not like it's not like he just touched him. He hit his entire arm. Yeah, and then when he came, I'm like, I don't know how what frustrates me, because I feel like if Steph Curry gets fouled like that and they miss it, everyone's talking about it. But with Sacramento, it's like, I don't know if it's expected because it's the Kings, but it's like that team plays hard, and you play with the defending champions all the way up to that moment to lose. I'm not saying that's the reason they lost, but it's kind of the reason they lost.
But it's hard because then I feel bad for is it Mike Brown? Yeah, Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown's coach. Yeah,
I feel bad for him because he's been a good coach. I mean, this team they're kind of fun to watch.
They're competing. They compete. You don't really see that with the Kings. They play hard, honestly. And De'Aaron Fox puts up numbers too, and not a lot of people talk about them because it's Sacramento. But
oh, trust me, I know about that. I mean, growing up as a military brat, I mean, I was lucky to go live in Northern California, and I got to see the Sacramento Kings in their early stages. Oh, yeah. So I got to see DeMarcus Cousins when he was Boogie Cousins.
Yeah,
Tyreek Evans. I don't know if people remember his name, but John Salmons. Even guys like, they drafted Isaiah Thomas, not Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. But, Isaiah Thomas that, later on went to be, I guess he got called the king of the fourth quarter when he was on the Celtics. Yeah. But, yeah, this Sacramento Kings, man, to me, seeing them at that stage and seeing them now at this point, I feel like they deserve it.
Oh, no, yeah.
They deserve it. I mean, especially with guys like Keegan Murray, who is, he's a rookie, but he's doing good. He's doing good as a rookie. He's doing, because you see guys like Paolo, you see guys like Jaden Ivey, they're exceptional rookies because they're doing more. They're doing more than what people are expecting.
And on a night-to-night basis, too. Which is the most impressive thing. It's not like it's not like Paolo's putting up 30 and next night he's putting up 5. He's consistently put up numbers. And obviously, rookie years, for most rookies, they're going to have games where they really play well and then, vice versa. But, I mean, I actually thought Keegan Murray was going to make a run for Rookie of the Year going into the season. Yeah. Obviously, Paolo's running away with it. But, look, the Kings, I like the front court. I like Herter and Fox together. I think that works pretty well. Yeah. You have Keegan Murray, you have Sabonis. Sabonis is back in his Indiana days. He was an all-star, right. And then you also have Harrison Barnes, who's been in the league, NBA champion, who's been in the league for a while. I mean, he put up a donut last night, but
Harrison Barnes. I mean, I think it was a good thing that they got. I think that's why they wanted to get someone like Keegan Murray, because it's not that I'm gonna write off Harrison Barnes or anything. I think Harrison Barnes is Harrison Barnes, and you know he's a champion and everything. But I mean, even when he was with the Warriors, it was always like, it's like when the Warriors got Andrew Wiggins, it's like they expected that to be Harrison Barnes. Mm-hmm. They expected Harrison Barnes to be Andrew Wiggins, and
they didn't get when that. Wiggins finally bought into his role. He was at some point. It looked like he was like the X factor for that Warriors team.
I think he was.
Yeah, and that reminds look, the Warriors sitting at 4-7 again. I don't think people are talking enough about that. And we were talking about it earlier in the show. I know we want to talk about the Kings, but I just wanted to say one thing. I just don't know how that tandem of the young players, if trying to progress those young players and also playing with those veterans, I just don't know because obviously Curry's window. I don't want to say it's closing, but it's not. He's getting older.
Yeah, he is getting older. It's the window. I wouldn't say the window's closing. It's just your window time frame is like it's either here or now because
they come up of Giannis and Doncic, and I just think I just don't like James Wiseman. Not that I don't like James Wiseman, but I just don't think he fits very well. It's like he's making mistakes that I saw it when I was watching the game. He's just like the way I don't think he knows how to play with Steph Curry, and you'll see
actually he didn't play on Monday.
No, but I'm saying from
from like last week. No, I think I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
That
the way he
go ahead.
I just think he just doesn't. I don't want to say he's not buying into the system, but it looks like he just doesn't fit in the sense as like I see that, and he's like the way he sets screens. You can tell it's just like he just doesn't know how to really play with Steph Curry. I don't know how hard it could be to play with Steph Curry.
I think he came into this thinking, because he was a top pick,
second pick
overall.
LaMelo Ball, over LaMelo.
But at this point, it's just like, dude, you came on a Warriors team that it's not going to be your team. It's not. You're not going to be the main guy.
Yeah. Like they know how to win though. That's what frustrates me. It's like they know how to win. So Steve Kerr's one of the best coaches in the league. If he's telling you what to do, you got to do it. It's like that's what I think. That's what I think the problem is with James Wiseman. He's just not doing what he's supposed to do. That's what it looks like to me when I'm watching them play.
Yeah, even to talk more about their younger guys. Jordan Poole's playing 21 minutes on Monday and literally only had 2 points.
Jordan Poole's you just paid him that contract. He's been up and down this season, I think.
It's kind of sad to see that. We still need to give maybe the benefit of the doubt. It's still early. It's long season. Mm-hmm. Still got a lot more to go, but it is a little worrisome when you see these guys not performing well and your best guy is. Your best guy. Andrew Wiggins dropped 25, but he played 40 minutes. He just had 7. He shot 10 for 17. You had Curry, was 17 for 24 and had 47. So it was rightfully so. But last time you had Curry doing everything, you guys had a number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Yeah. So it's either you want that again or you want to go to the finals again. Yeah, exactly. So it's the guys aren't stepping up, and if the Warriors want to be the Warriors and how everyone keeps talking about, I still think the Warriors are going to win the NBA Finals, which they still can because it's still the same team that they won the Finals with.
I think once they figure it out, look at again long season. I think once they figure out, I don't know how to get into James Wiseman, just how to mesh it all together. Because I just think Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, they all want to win. The window's closing to come up with Giannis and the other guys in the league. So I just think they have to figure out that tandem between the young guys. And I don't want to say that Curry and Draymond Green them can't mentor the younger guys because they should. That's what they're supposed to do. But it's like the number one job is to bring home championships.
You're right. No, sorry, I kind of got sidetracked because Orlando just beat the Mavericks.
Did they?
They did. They won 94-87. Yes.
I know Tanner Lambert's gonna be happy.
Go. I love it. There you go, Magic. It stinks. Luka had 24 with 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Mm-hmm. Spencer Dinwiddie had a good game. He had 29. Yeah, that's awesome. But let's see the Orlando.
I don't think Paolo played tonight. I think he was out tonight too.
He had an injury illness. Wow.
Franz Wagner
without Paolo
against Dallas.
Franz Wagner had 22 though.
22, yeah.
22. Look at that.
Bull too. 11-6. Pretty solid.
There you go. I like it.
I'm not saying I'm sold on the Orlando Magic, but I love the positionless look, it's a positionless game, and they have the lineup. I think if they stay healthy and progress a little bit over the next couple years,
and I know. A lot of people probably won't agree with me on this because they haven't shown a lot, but just think they're playing like this, and they still don't have Jonathan Isaac. They still don't have Gary Harris, Markel Fultz, and Cole Anthony.
Yep.
Yes, a lot of those guys are guards and might take away from guys like Jalen Suggs and all that, but I mean, even Franz, because he pretty much plays guard at this point, and I love him playing
Franz
guard.
Is their guy
because he's a facilitator. I think he looks for not even shooting the ball. My bad, I was about to say something totally wrong. But he looks to pass the ball, and he can score when he wants to. But I think the fact that he wants to pass the ball, he wants to have everyone in the game, it's beautiful. So I think it's a good win for the Magic going forward, and just hopefully, I just pray for the Magic that Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris, Marco Fultz, and Cole Anthony could come back. I mean, they don't have another guy named Kevon Harris. I don't really know who that is. No disrespect to him. And then they have Moritz Wagner that hasn't played. That's
Wagner.
His
brother. His
brother. So, maybe those guys can come in and play their role like they need to. But the fact that they don't have those guys is an interesting topic. Yeah. And they beat the Mavericks.
And they also held them to 87 points, which was pretty impressive.
Exactly.
It's a pretty high-scoring league, and hold a team like the Mavericks where they have that offense, centered around Doncic.
So that makes them 6-9.
Oh, Dallas is 6-4. Orlando's 3-9.
3-9. Even after that one, they're 3-9.
Yeah, 3-9.
Oh yeah, because they're 2-2. Yeah. Dang, Magic, come on. I just need you to turn around, but I need also my Heat to turn around.
Yeah. Same with the Knicks.
Hey man, you're at least sitting like 7th in the East.
Yeah,
okay? I'm be happy with that.
Okay, it's all right. At least we're competing, man. At least we're competing.
No, of course. Yeah. So let's talk. We talked a little bit about this with the Jazz's stuff, but oh my lord, the Timberwolves.
Okay, that actually. What I would like to say to that is
the Timberwolves. What are they doing?
The Timberwolves starting lineup of D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert have the worst offensive rating in the NBA, and it's not even close. What I think is the biggest problem, as I've said multiple times, but I just think that the paint is a little too clogged with Gobert. I think Cat's spending too much time on the perimeter. Anthony Edwards has been up and down this season. He's had games where he's went off, had games where he's shot 4 for 17, 4 for 15. Yeah. And
it seems weird because then you have – it's not that I don't think people are trying to divide up. Maybe they are. And then maybe it's something I'm pretty sure they don't care about it. But then you had the little rumors, not even rumors, but the little drama effects where they were like, oh, Cat's talking about he
the
wants
Popeyes, all this stuff,
Popeyes things, and I know that's nothing to their matter, and they could care less.
I feel like there's some egos going on there a little bit. I think some egos are getting in the way.
Yeah, there's egos, and I mean I could understand because Ant comes off of a great rookie season, and kills it.
I expected him to make a huge jump.
The Timberwolves did so great, going into the play. They made play-in, right?
Yeah.
I think they went through the play-in, and then they got eliminated. But
that's when
that's what we accepted. That's what we accepted because we're like, you know what, this Timberwolves team.
It looked like they had a kind of it looked like it was also part of Pat Bev when Pat Bev was there, but it looks like they had a culture finally because they were a team that had at one point they had one of the biggest playoff droughts. Obviously they made it when Butler was there, but it took them a while to figure out that, and I think Beverly kind of helped them make that. So that's what, even though Beverly's gone, whatever. But I think coming into this season, I was low on that trade. I still am, and I just think you give up all of that for Gobert, and you're the worst offensively rated team in the NBA. It's got to be frustrating to be a Timberwolves fan.
I think they're also bottom in defensive rating too, and that's a joke.
Because the reason they did this was mainly for their defensive presence.
For their defense, yeah. Right now, the Timberwolves are sitting at. Yeah, they're what's their defensive rating? I can't really see it on this page.
Yeah, but the problem is they can't score and they can't defend.
And they can't defend. And I mean, at this point, you just ask the questions was this trade because if you think about it, it's yes, I think at the beginning, the trade was needed to happen, and it was it was good. Yeah, it was everything. Yeah. They got that defensive presence that they needed because no offense to Cat's not the defensive type of guy that he is, but he could score automatic and stuff like that. But this whole
it's frustrating to watch, honestly, because it's you give up all of that for the again, it's early. They have to learn how to play together. Maybe in 25, 30 games they're not this bad. I'm sure they'll get a little bit better, whatever.
I'm pretty sure.
But I just don't understand how. I think if the problem is they should have made a trade based more on like who fits their system in the sense of like their team that they're not like the best shooting team. You know, like Edwards is a guy who wants to get to the rim. D'Lo can shoot.
Yeah.
You know, Cat's one of the better shooting big men. But I just don't think Gobert fitted with that team at all.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it because, like, I love Donovan Mitchell, and I'm so happy he's on the Cavs and he's doing his thing. And I know you probably, I know you. I understand. I know you said something about volume shooters, and he's one of those guys where he's a volume shooter. But I really did not like him with Rudy Gobert on the Jazz.
You did,
everything because it was like they did good, but I just felt like they didn't have enough. Like they would go to the playoffs
and lose, maybe win a playoff series.
Yeah, one, maybe. And then they would lose in the second round and everything. And it was like, it's like, dude. Yeah.
I feel like Minnesota
kind of the West, and you.
That's the thing. I feel like Minnesota knew what they were getting themselves into, making that trade because you gave up so much for it. It's like you give up that much because you think it's going to work out.
Look at what those trades are doing like for the other team.
Who would have thought Utah would have been this I'm not saying I don't want to say Utah won the trade yet because it's early, but who would have thought? You know, it's like that's why I think the one thing I will continue to reiterate is like fitting in the system is more important, I think, than any talent. You know what I mean? Right, so I think that's evident here that like obviously the Gobert is more talented, you know, than the other players that they gave up, like who was that? Who they gave up? Like Malik Beasley and all those guys. But that's what I think, you know.
And Malik Beasley was a good like
role player
guy for them because he would come off the bench and like could drop them 20. And he
could score
a couple games where he was dropping 30.
Yeah.
So it's sad to see how the Timberwolves are performing right now. But like we said, it's early in the season. They still have room to improve. But you know, I think on both ends we expect. No, because I'm not going to say on both ends. Utah Jazz are doing stuff that we did not expect. I think nobody except for probably whoever's a Utah Jazz fan.
Even Utah Jazz fans probably didn't expect this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's those crazy fans that were like, well, we just got Colin Sexton. Like, that's great, and I'm glad for the optimism. I'm glad for the positivity, but no one expected what the Jazz are doing, but I'm happy for them.
And Sexton's coming off the bench, too. He's only started one game this year. Yep. So... You know, it's honestly jaw dropping seeing what Utah's doing over there.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
I believe Danny Ainge is behind all that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, Danny Ainge is.
I think we got to give him credit.
A weird trade person though. Like he's like when he was doing trades because he just went over there, right?
Yeah, because he was in Boston.
Yeah, he was in Boston. He would trade for like. He never like wanted to get rid of like second round picks. Like he always wanted to trade like for other picks and stuff like that. Like it was weird, but.
I think he's
on business.
That guy knows what he's doing. He did it in Boston. You know, he put a good team together, and in Utah, you know, like again, I don't know in 25 games. I don't know if they are the number one seed in the Western Conference, but gotta give credit where credit's due, man.
And just think about it. If they do good and they keep this, and like even if the Jazz finish like in the middle, or even
that's
like,
still way better than
like if they make it like in the A7 spot, it's just like. Everyone probably was like, I didn't think of this.
Yeah, because they have 9 wins in their first 12 games. No one thought they'd have 9 wins in their first 30 games. You know, like
very, very true, very, very true. And it's crazy because if they could continue this, they have all those draft picks.
Oh, it's scary, bro.
Those draft picks are gonna turn into guys that are stars.
And then, look, I'm not saying they're planning on trading anybody, but they can also trade. You know, Conley and not Sexton, Conley and Jordan Clarkson, and turn that into if they wanted to, you know, down the line. But like, look, if you're 9-3, you don't got to make many changes.
They're sitting at a good spot. I think they're sitting at a good spot. So let's get into the stats. Let's get into a thing. Let's talk about some games tonight that we have. And I know we just talked about the Magic beating the Mavs, which is good for the Magic. We like to see that. Yeah. We want to see. These teams that we are so excited, like not even excited, teams that we like to watch, the teams that have these young guys.
Yeah, that's like so. Yeah, I want to talk about the. I'll talk about the Pelicans Bulls, but more specifically, I want to talk about the Pelicans. Look, they're down 10 right now, not looking great. But you know me, you know better than anyone. I was really high on New Orleans this coming into the season. I think with Zion, CJ, Bi, who else do they got? Jackson Hayes, Valanciunas, and one other name that I want. Everyone here, get the receipts. Remember the name Troy Murphy. He's honestly one of the most, I think, underrated players in the league. He's averaging 12.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 93% from the free throw line. But I don't want to just talk about stats. But when I watch him play, he just comes off the bench and he just does so many things. He scores, he defends, he facilitates the ball. And it was earlier in the season, but he had one game where it was the game they beat. It might have been Brooklyn, but Zion was out and so was BI. And he came in there, put up 25 points, 8 for 8 shooting. And when I just watch him play, he does so much on the court where I'm like, this guy can seriously. He is like the missing piece to a lot of teams. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I will say this now. I still believe it. You know, they're sitting at 5-5, not great. I think the New Orleans Pelicans can make a run to the Western Conference Finals. That's my bold take for the season.
Ooh,
that's
early.
Yeah, I said it. Well, I said it before the season. I want to stick with it. Again, 5-5. When they're if they stay fully healthy, I think they make a run. They can make a run to the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. That's my bold take for the season. Like, might be ridiculous, but like I
don't think it's ridiculous because I think they made it right.
They pushed the Suns to 6 games last year, and the Suns were the best team in the regular season. And I think Zion put up 27 a game when in the first like 60 games of his career, shooting like 60-something% from the field. I think if Zion stays healthy, I'm all in on New Orleans.
Sure, I know. I like that take. I mean, I think New Orleans is good, but on the other end, because you talked a lot about the Pelicans, and to be honest, I side with a lot of what you said. I do like Troy Murphy coming off the bench, being that role player, and he's a stud. I like how he plays. Deadly little shooter when he starts on a roll,
and he can get to the hoop too.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely can. Yeah. But on the other end, the Chicago Bulls. I like the Chicago Bulls.
DeMar's been killing it.
DeMar and Zach, I think just had a 30-point game or a 25, something like that, and they won. I like the Bulls. It's just I don't know where else, because they struggle, and it's weird that they struggle because they have a team. I don't know. They don't have really a point guard.
I thought Kobe White was going to be that guy. He's been up and down, but the guy Ayo, I don't know how to say his last name, from Illinois. He's played pretty well this season. I thought. I think he started. Yeah, he started tonight. Had 12 points. Oh, he started Monday. I'm sorry, against the Raptors. Okay. But yeah, I agree. They haven't had like that solidified point guard, and also with Patrick Williams, he was like the 4th pick. I was not really high on that. I didn't really understand that.
Out of Florida State.
Yeah, he was a 6th man there too. He came off the bench there and took him 4th overall, where you probably could have got him, much later in the draft.
Yeah.
That one confused me. I just think. I was honestly really high on Kobe White coming out of UNC, and it just looked like he never hasn't. I don't want to say he hasn't been given the opportunity, because he got decent minutes last season, from what I believe. And I don't know. I just think DeMar's getting older. Levine's like entering that stage where he's going to want to start to actually win. Because
I think he wanted to do that now. I mean,
yeah, he puts up the numbers. He always puts up the numbers. It's just the Bulls haven't.
But DeMar is DeMar. I think he does his thing, and he drops his 30 points. He does a little mid range game. Yeah. I love watching.
No, he's so smooth. His footwork is insane. DeMar DeRozan.
D Rose, but I meant to say DeRozan. But
D Rose. You watch D Rose play. Watch his footwork. His foot, it's insane what he does.
Yeah, no, DeMar is insane. And I like watching him. So, I mean, that game's still early, and it's quarter-1. Are we going to stay away from your Knicks game? Because, do you want me to say it?
Say it.
They are down 52-38 to the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets. Look, it's Battle New York. Julius has 15, but again, how's RJ Barrett shooting from the field? Do I even want to ask?
He's shooting 50%.
Okay.
He only has 5 points.
Yeah.
He's been at the free throw line. It looks like he's getting his points from the free throw line. Nothing against RJ, but
he can't. But he shoots like he doesn't even shoot well from 3, and he shoots like I've seen games he shoots like 7 threes. I'm like, dude, you got to play to your strengths. Clearly, the threes aren't falling. Once you're 1 for 6, maybe try something new. Yeah. That's what I think. But it's frustrating. It's sometimes it's so frustrating being a Knicks fan. You know what I mean? The last couple of years especially. But put ourselves into these holes, and then we'll come back and we'll lose in overtime every single time.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
This team fights though. They do fight. It's just sitting at 5-5 at some point we're just gonna have to start. You're gonna have to stop putting ourselves into these holes early in the game.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, it's not a lot on the Brooklyn Nets side. Everyone's just kind of scoring. I mean, Kevin Durant's got 11 right now.
Seth Curry's got 14.
Edmund Sumner has 13.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like guys are coming in. Seth Curry's shooting his threes and making shots. He's 4 for 6, 3 for 5 from 3. So a lot of his points are from 3. So I mean, hopefully maybe the Knicks could turn it around. But I mean, if not, I don't know. I guess we'll have to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But hey, the Jazz right now are up by 8 against Atlanta. So they're doing their.
I saw Mathurin at 23 at halftime, but now he's up to. He has 23 in the third quarter, which is he's been a rookie who's been going.
Who?
Benedict Mathurin.
Oh yeah, Benedict Mathurin.
Forgot to talk about him.
I have him on my fantasy basketball team. Dude,
he's been killing it.
Nice. They're up right now, big against Denver right now. Big, and they have Jamal Murray.
Murray's back.
MPJ back, and what is going on with this team?
Yeah.
I don't like how they're performing right now.
No, but Benedict Mathurin also is. I mean, if it wasn't for Paulo putting up his crazy numbers, he'd be right up there for Rookie of the Year. Sure. And any other year, he'd probably be up there. But
I like him because he has the attitude. I like when he came out and said, LeBron's gonna have to show me something.
And then I saw. Then there was one point where I think it might have been against an ex-teammate, but the clock was coming down, like 5 seconds left in the game, and he went up to the guy who was dribbling the clock out, stole the ball from him, went up for a lay, and he's like, "Bro, the game's not over." And I was like, he's got that it. I feel like. He's got he doesn't care. He's gonna again play to the final whistle, but it looks like he's like that guy who has what it takes to really make a mark in this league.
It's crazy though because he's only played like 13 minutes.
Yeah, and has 23 points.
10, has 23 points. So he's making when he comes in, he's coming in. He's like, I'm gonna score. I'm gonna get my buckets, and I'm gonna do my thing. And
that's why I was quietly I think people were sleeping on the Pacers. And look, the Pacers are not winning a championship, don't get me wrong. But people were writing them off saying they're like one of the worst teams in the league, which I never really thought. I think Tyrese Halliburton,
I like Tyrese.
I think he's one of the most underrated point guards in the league. You also have Buddy Hield, who we know can shoot. And then, Miles Turner, I feel like every year he's in these trade talks, but every year he's back in Indiana. Yeah. So, look, they're not going to go anywhere, but they're a little like a young team. They have a mixture of young players and veterans who I think, could really, make a mark. They're not going to go far or anything like that, but I'm impressed by the Pacers when I see them play.
Yeah, no, especially against a team like Denver tonight, and they're literally almost up by 20.
Yeah, exactly.
84-67 right now in the third quarter. Yeah. So it's a little sad to see that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have one of those seasons like how the Mavericks, the Jazz are having right now. Yeah. They have more a little bit kind of not star power, but they have more of like those guys that are like, okay, the Jazz have more of like a bunch of role players on their team that they're performing, but you have guys like Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, Tyrese on the team, and then now guys like Benedict Mathurin who are on the team. Give you more of that oomph or more of that like view or something on the team, but I mean. And
then looking at the Jazz right now, they're up 9.5 against the Hawks, and Laurie has 21.5.
Dude,
bro's killing it. It's fun to watch these teams. I'm all in on these teams. In the sense of just watching them play. I'm like the Jazz. If the Jazz are on, I'm tuning in.
Yeah, no, definitely, no, for sure. I mean, I'm a guy that and this is maybe just. Because I've been very spoiled with the Heat culture. We've had, great things.
I don't know that feeling.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all
but
I've
been very spoiled. But I liked because I was very humbled when the Heat lost LeBron, and D Wade was kind of off and on the team because he wanted to go do his thing in Chicago, and we weren't gonna give him the money that he was asking for, which kind of upset me because that's my guy.
Yeah,
I love D Wade.
The thing was D Wade's he always took pay cuts, and this was the time when I'm like, you should pay the guy.
I hated that. I loved that it made me love him even more, but it just made me not like the Heat organization in a way because I was just
even if he wasn't putting up the numbers he used to, he did so much for that organization that he deserved. When
you think of the Heat, you don't think of. Obviously as people go, LeBron,
but it's D Wade.
It's D Wade.
It's like Wade County. You know,
you think of
And look, again, I'm not a Heat. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely hate the Miami Heat. But
because Knicks. That's so funny. That's so great. That we make this podcast together, and he's a Knicks fan, and I'm a Heat fan, and all those history. Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing, getting all those fist fights, and
and then
who was it, Van Gundy that got in the one fight?
Oh yeah,
he's holding on to I forgot who he's holding on to, and then his Heat. That was That's crazy, and it's funny that I think this is meant to be. You know?
Yeah, it is. You know, and look, the thing is, we're both realistic with our teams. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say the Knicks are the worst team in the league. I'm not going to say they're the best team in the league. We're exactly where I thought we'd be, right in the middle.
Perfectly balanced.
You know, I that's kind of impressive, low key.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
that was a crazy stat drop you had, where it was just like this
life of a Knicks fan.
Yeah, but we hope that changes around. So, but a lot of games going on tonight. You know, after a Monday, 15 games, 30 teams playing, but teams to still play tonight though. We still have Cleveland against Sacramento and
Lakers Clippers.
Yeah, LA, the Battle of LA. But they're both. I mean, the Clippers are.
They just haven't been healthy. They just haven't been healthy.
Yeah, Clippers haven't been healthy, and then the Lakers are just.
I think if the Clippers once the Clippers are healthy, I think they can make a run for anyone's money. I think defensively, that lineup with PG, John Wall, obviously Kawhi, they have good pieces. I think they have like Covington, one of the Morris brothers, Luke Kennard. Like they have just a bunch of guys who I think kind of can they'll all do their role. And I think if the Clippers are healthy, they're as good as anybody. That's what I think. You know?
No, for sure. But
I'll be tuned into that. I want to see Russ play, so I'll definitely be tuned into that Lakers Clipper game.
Yeah, no, I believe that's on ESPN.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm definitely probably gonna catch a little bit back into that game or anything by the time whenever we get out of the studio and do whatever we gotta do with this recording. But I mean, we talked about it a lot. Let's talk about. I mean, we talked about this team. And they're up against your Knicks right now. But let's talk about one guy.
Kyrie Irving.
We are going to get into the Kyrie Irving. I wanted to talk about this. I want to give a shout out to my guy, Keaton. He brought this to my attention because I love that we're doing this and all this. I did not want this show to turn into like anything political or anything, or stuff like that against, what happened, but I did want to talk about how it's impacted like the NBA, his team and stuff like that. Even though yes, they're winning right now, but the Knicks are what they are not even.
The Nets are 4-7.
4-7, and this team has always just been so far. I mean, ever since KD and Kyrie got on this team, and even with James Harden when they added James Harden, this team was a very dramatic
100%.
drama. It was almost like watching a reality.
It's like the
TV
off the
show.
court. The question is not the on court stuff. It's the off court stuff. It's like you have Harden, you have Harden, you have Irving, you have Kevin Durant, and I think they played 10 games together. It's kind of like, look, I'm not big into like, I don't want it to just be like one stacked team as opposed to the rest, but it's like I just don't understand how you messed that up.
Yeah.
Really, you know.
I think it was an interesting thing that he how he took it when that video came out in that press conference where they asked him about what happened, what he posted and stuff like that, and I guess it was a link to a anti-Semitic documentary, and I didn't take any good look at this because I really don't enjoy this type of stuff when it comes to this. When it comes to basketball or it comes to any sport, I really don't enjoy that because it's just like, yes, trust me, I believe every players are humans too as well. Athletes are humans as well, and I feel like yes, you could be your own person, but I mean at this point, your team has been that reality TV show for this league, and like I'm not gonna shame him for what he said or anything. I mean, it's whatever. But at this point, it's like, how do you think, especially if you're on this team and you're on this team and everyone's thinking, all right, KD, Kyrie, all right, you guys can definitely go to the finals. You guys could definitely be at top of the East, especially in the East because everyone says the East is not that great and stuff like that. Which I can side that. I understand that. But doing this, it's almost like you put a question mark over this team. It's just like, is this team going to keep performing well? Is this team like, yes, there's already kind of been reports where other players are just like, oh, I don't care. Like I think Jaylen Brown came out saying like all his duties to come back were a little excessive, which I could see. But I mean, especially this day and age.
Yeah, when you have that platform, like when you're Kyrie Irving, when you're LeBron James and all those people, like everyone's paying attention to everything you say and what you do.
Exactly.
And it's like, look, I'm not big into politics and all that stuff, but it's like that's just
or even religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not even the fact that I wanted to stay away from this show from being political or even, but this was a religion thing.
Yeah.
And people are free to have whatever religion they want, but especially when it comes to basketball, and especially as an NBA player, you do have a platform. You have a voice.
Exactly.
Especially with Kyrie Irving, we've known he's got a
that's
voice.
the thing. I'd like to talk about Kyrie in the sense is like we've seen three different places where Kyrie Irving. Again, I'm not going to say all of it's on him, but we've seen where he's kind of messed up a good situation. You know, you saw in Cleveland, he was with LeBron, won a championship. Can't get much better than that.
Could have stayed.
Gets what he wants.
Won more
Gets what he wants. Gets traded to Boston. He's with a very good team with like Hayward, who else? Marcus Smart. That's Tatum's like rookie year.
Tatum and then
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
You get that. Was there from one or two seasons, whatever it was.
Yeah, I believe 2 seasons. One of them wasn't he hurt like one of the good majority?
Yeah, he was hurt. Yeah, the year when Terry Rozier went crazy in the playoffs
Exactly.
against when LeBron went into Boston Game 7.
Yeah.
So and then he again more drama. I remember before the season before the year that he left Boston, he said in like I don't know if it was the first game of the season, he's like, I plan on resigning here in Boston. He said that.
Eesh.
Yeah, and then obviously fast forward a year later, he's in Brooklyn. But then he gets what he wants again. Leaves Boston, goes to Brooklyn. Teams up with Kevin Durant.
And it was almost like he was coming home.
Exactly. He's from the Brooklyn tri-state area, whatever.
Yeah.
And again, we're seeing with Brooklyn, it's like when you think of Kevin Durant, you can tell he's all about basketball. All he's focused on is basketball. It's like again, Kyrie Irving. It's like I'm not sure how much of Kyrie Irving we're going to see in the future, in the sense of him on the court. Like it just seems like, and I've seen like Charles Barkley and like other like old heads kind of say like guys nowadays, like there's a lot of them like just don't love the game. I'm not saying Kyrie Irving. I'm saying in general, and I just think obviously with the money and all that stuff. But I don't know how many more chances Kyrie Irving can get. Because if you're any other team in the league, do you want Kyrie Irving on your team? I'm staying away from that.
Probably not.
It's just I don't want anything messing up the chemistry of a team. It's just what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think about that?
I have to agree. I mean, especially with everything that came out and what was said, and even his duties to come back. I mean, he had to. I'm going to go over his duties that he had to come back because just the other day, I guess he talked to Adam Silver.
Yeah, he met with Adam Silver.
Great, one of the best. I think the best commissioner out of all sports. I love Adam Silver.
He's for the players, you can tell.
Yeah, he's definitely for the players, and I enjoy it. And a lot of people had this talk because I guess something popped up about how he wasn't, I guess, suspended anymore in a way because he kind of went to go talk to Adam Silver. So I guess there was, some kind of understanding that he apologizes. But I want to go over the duties that I guess the Nets gave him.
Yeah.
And I guess it was, was required to share his apology on all his social media accounts, which is good.
Yeah.
Follow and complete a sensitivity training under the team. Also meet with Jewish leaders in the Brooklyn community, and and then pretty much if he fulfills the requirements and everything, he'd be able to come back. We talked about how I think you posted this. You talked about how Athletic Shams Charani reported that Irving will also have to donate $500,000 to the anti-hate causes, which is good, and meet with the Anti-Defamation League, which is all that is great. I think because I know I said Jaylen Brown talked about it, so a lot of that was excessive. It's just, especially my thoughts on it is just this day and age, especially with your platform. It's not that you have to be careful with what you say. It's more just like you're going to have to expect or just be more aware of like how people are going to react.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to say something or you're going to post something and it could be the simplest thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And people are going to see a different view and everyone has their all different views and everyone is going to feel. And I feel like the backlash that he got was a little bit well deserved because no one really understood. No one, because I still don't understand how, because I never looked at the link. I don't know, especially everybody puts the whole thing as it was an anti-Semitic, documentary. So, my thoughts on it is the same thing, especially with basketball, because I'm more of just, not saying that he should just pay attention to basketball and just not worry about what he thinks, because Kyrie Irving has every right, just like anybody in this nation or anything. They have every right to feel how they want to feel, say what they want to say. That's the
thing. What I not to this extent, but I don't want players to hide who they are for the media.
Oh yeah.
And Kyrie always keeps it real, but this time, this is not really excusable. But
especially just the timing of it. Because
yeah,
you
it's
come
just
out
bad.
Because even if we get into media stuff, which we don't have to, but just kind of connecting with this, you just had Kanye.
Yeah, like all the Kanye stuff.
And all that stuff. And, Kanye is Kanye, and we won't talk about that because that is just...
That's another level,
There's an insane asylum in itself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just the timing of it all. And, like, it was like, I felt like the week before this Kyrie Irving thing, it was like we were hearing all about this Kanye thing. And then the next week you hear Kyrie Irving and this whole thing. And, I just hope this turns for the better. I hope this makes us more aware, I guess. People were kind of cracking jokes at this, and I didn't think it was right. But, I mean, I could understand how people see this. But I guess in the G League, there was the first unorthodox Jewish guy that played for, I think it was actually for the Westchester Knicks.
Was it? What? Oh, yeah.
I forgot his name.
It was, I know who you're
We'll check it right now, but yes, we just...
He was he a Division II player, I believe, in college.
Yes, he was. And they just...
Ryan Terrell. Actually, one of my boys back home, shout out Connor, actually played against him in college. He killed him. Went crazy.
There you go. But I mean, I think it was a good thing because they shed some light. I think he's the first unorthodox Jewish person that's played in the league. So I think that was a good little.
Oh no, for
little
sure.
Clap, little audience clap for that, and it was a great thing.
He's on the Detroit Motor City Cruise.
Oh, so he's on Detroit's G League team. I thought they look like Westchester Knicks. Maybe that's just me thinking wrong and stuff like that. But I mean, especially for this whole thing, I think his duties to come back were rightfully so. Especially how much this team has had this drama. Kyrie's had drama. It's just do what you gotta do what you feel is right. And
for sure,
he's definitely. I'm pretty sure now, especially that he's met with Adam Silver, and they talked about how he's kind of can't come off the whole, suspended indefinitely type of thing. I guess there's been an understanding that he's sorry for what he's done. He's sorry for putting out this thing that's offended a lot of people. And I think going forward, I think how it's looking forward is I think he's gonna do his things. I think he's gonna get back to this team and. We'll see, but I think I'm more on the side of just as a player, as someone that wants that would want to be a part of a team. I agree. If you're gonna trade for someone like Kyrie, it would be very skeptical because he brings a lot.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, he brings a lot to the court, but I think what's the more important part is what he brings off the court. And it hurts kind of to see. He's such a talented player, and it's like he's kind of getting in his own way.
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong. You're free to believe in what you want in this country, but it's kind of hard to see that type of stuff happen because it's happened 3 times. It's not like this is the first time where Kyrie Irving's has caused off-court drama. We saw it in Cleveland, we saw it in Boston, and it's like it looks like all those other teams.
Even in Boston, he almost had to say sorry. It was like it's like the same thing over and again.
He does something, apologizes.
He did something, he apologized because even when he was on Boston, he had to call LeBron and be like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I understand where you were at," and everything is just like, "Okay, that's good. All right, dude. You fix yourself. You become a better person. That's awesome." But then you come to the Nets and not the same situation, but just something else comes on. It's just like, so it brings it kind of brings a little bit of a dark cloud when it comes to these type of things over the NBA. But I think both of us agree that it's just we want something positive to come out of this, and positive things that came out of this. I think Kyrie Irving is has apologized and is sorry about what he's done and everything. So hopefully, just something positive comes out of this, and hopefully, it doesn't ruin too much of the chemistry. And I'm pretty sure if other guys on other teams like Jaylen Brown are saying not backing him up for what he said, but just saying hey, like.
Even LeBron James spoke about it. He said there's no room for that.
Yeah. So I think what it is just come back. Do what you gotta do. Do your business. Say, apologize, which he has. He talked with the commissioner of the league, and I think just going forward, I think we should be fine. Yeah, I think everything should be fine.
Everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. I mean, pretty sure he's had a talk. I know usually stuff like this happens. Usually players will have talks with their team. And be like, hey, yo, like I messed up or something happened. So, for me. I know probably obviously for you, I don't want to speak for you, but I think this is a positive thing. Positive thing to not happen, but positive going forward is that we don't do this and do this anymore or something like this. Because then, not saying Kyrie is an example of a player, but like it has an example for the rest of the league. Like you represent the league. I think for Kyrie,
especially Kyrie Irving is one of the bigger platforms in the league as well.
Exactly.
Which that's the biggest part is he used he used his platform in a way that should not have been in the way it went out. It just was all of that stuff. It's a really messy situation, and there was that report where Ime Udoka was coming to Brooklyn. I'm like, that's going to bring more drama to Brooklyn, But
and then they said they
signed Jacques Vaughn.
They signed
the guy from Boston. No, was he? He was an assistant coach. Yeah, assistant coach.
He was a coach for the Magic.
Magic?
For the Magic for a little bit. Didn't do that great.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I think if Udoka came in, that's just more great coach. Brought the Celtics to the finals his first year, but that's just more drama adding to it.
Yeah, I think before the whole Jacques Vaughn, they got Jacques Vaughn as a coach. They were like, "Yep, we're not getting him."
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure at that point they understood like, if you bring him to this team, it's not that he's a bad coach because Udoka's a good coach.
Brought him to the finals.
It's just it's all the off-court drama. It's everything else.
I think that shows what NBA teams are starting to value now, especially with the emergence of like social media and players using their platform. Is like, like they're not going to doubt what Udoka can do as a coach, what Kyrie can do on the court. It's just like, you're in the NBA, you have this platform. If you're going to create distractions from the team and take it away from the basketball aspect, then teams are going to stay away from you.
Yeah, and they're showing also as a fan, it almost makes you dislike the player in a way, because if you were offended or anything, it makes you dislike the player, and then for a team that kind of doesn't do a lot, maybe doesn't suspend him for the season or suspend him or something, it makes you not like the team because you're like, oh, you want this type of player on your team?
Exactly,
and stuff like that. So, but like I said, I think this comes out of a positive thing. They put a spotlight on the first unorthodox Jewish man in the NBA. So I think that's a good thing moving forward, and I hope this all just pans out, takes out this dark cloud, because this is the type of stuff that is just like, I don't think anybody wants, especially when it comes to like sports in general. I don't think anybody wants.
Like Brooklyn had enough drama going on there, and it's like it just adds to it. And this is pretty much as bad as it can get.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get rid of this dark cloud in this podcast about talking about this, but I'm glad glad we talked about that, because it's definitely it brings another aspect. Because we don't stuff like this, we don't live in the perfect world, and just sometimes stuff like this happens. And, it's not saying that it's not worth talking about. Sometimes just you got to talk about it connecting with everything, and I think it just 100%. Connects with the NBA, and it connects with the fact that the impact it has on players, other players, guys looking up. It looks up, it talks about even teams as a business. It talks about the organization, like from the guy that owns the team all the way to the G League guy playing for your, G League team and everything. So, the last guy on the bench. So, we are going to shed some light on this, and we are going to play a little game. We're going to get into a little fun segment. Brian, you brought it up.
Yes, sir.
And I want to do this. This is going to be fun. So, we're going to play a little game, and I'm pretty sure if anyone's tuning in and watched a lot of other podcasts, they probably might pick this up. And everything. So, we're going to play a game of who averages more. And Brian is going to ask me, because I want him to do it, because he brought it up as an idea, and I enjoy this. And we're going to have more ideas. We're going to bring more. And this is always going to come more to the end, where we're just going to have some fun before we go out, because it's great to go out with a blast. So let's do this, man. Let's quiz my NBA knowledge. And you know what?
Turn it up. Shut down
I don't know if you can hear that. If you can hear, I'm shutting my laptop so I do not cheat. I'm turning my phone over. I'm sorry to my girlfriend if I miss your text. But let's go.
I'll start off easy. Okay. All right. Who averages more?
Wait. We're doing points.
Points per game.
Okay, points per game.
Points per game. Who averages more points per game in this season only so far? Okay. As of Wednesday, November 9th.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan or Anthony Davis?
Ooh.
All these are close, by the way.
I'm going to go Anthony Davis.
Incorrect. 0 for 1.
Oh,
close.
No.
DeMar at 23.8. Anthony Davis at 23.2.
I was going to go with
the thing is,
I was trying to be like a little bit tricky, because I know
DeMar had that one like 50-point game.
50-point game.
But Anthony Davis has put up, a lot.
A little consistent numbers, but I should have said that because, Lakers stink. But let's go. Go another one.
All right. We got Anthony Simons or James Harden?
Oh, Anthony Simons.
Yeah, it's actually close, but
Yeah.
Anthony Simons 22.4, James Harden 22.
Okay,
So it's close. Desmond Bain or LeBron James?
Oh, Desmond Bain.
Yeah,
Desmond Bain
yeah,
is killing this year. I wasn't gonna fall for
Okay.
that. I love you, LeBron, but no. Desmond Bain's been killing it.
Okay. All right, Cade Cunningham or Nikola Jokic?
In points?
Yeah.
I am going to go with the way he's been playing. I'm gonna go Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham.
Woo!
So is that 3 for 4 right now?
So I missed the Anthony Davis one. No, I'm 2 for 3.
2 for 3. 2 for 3.
2
2
for
for 3.
3. 2 for 3.
All right. Let's see here. All right, we'll go with Jimmy Butler or Julius Randle.
No.
Knicks versus Heat.
Knicks versus Heat. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna go. I'll give it to you. Is it Julius Randle?
It is Jimmy Butler.
Okay, a little shocked by that because our offense hasn't been so much, but okay, I'm glad it's Jimmy. I'm glad it's Jimmy Butler. At least he's got something ahead of Nick.
You got it. Okay. Let's see it. All right, we got Paul George or Keldon Johnson.
Paul George barely played. I'm gonna. Oh no! Wait, because the games he plays drops crazy. Yeah. Oh, it's either consistency.
He's played
or
10 games
big
this
numbers.
year, so
10 games. How many games has Keldon Johnson has played more?
Keldon Johnson has played 10 games. Each 10 games.
Oh, so each 10 games. Oh, so Paul George has played. Oh, jeez. Oh, these are one of those trick ones.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm just gonna go with the safe pick. Is it Paul George?
Yes, it's Paul George.
Oh, okay.
All right. How many more you want to get through?
Let's switch it off with points. Let's do some like steals or
Steals,
or like rebounds. Because I know right now the only thing I know right now who's leading the league in rebounds is Rudy Gobert.
Gobert. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
want to go to rebounds?
Yeah. Let's do some rebounds.
All right. Let's see her.
I love my big men that get rebounds, or even small forwards that get rebounds. I've always enjoyed players like Dennis Rodman, man.
No, for sure.
It's great.
People don't put enough respect on those type of players.
No, they don't.
We'll go with Karl Anthony Towns or Jakob Poeltl.
Jakob Poeltl.
Correct.
Nah, I knew that.
Correct.
Come on now. You got Rudy Gobert on the team. You're not getting a lot of rebounds. Come on now.
All right. Kevin Love or Jason Tatum?
Ooh. I'm going to go. Ooh. Dang. That one's hard because, Cavs are performing well.
I believe Love's coming off the bench.
Blah. I'm going to go Jason Tatum.
Kevin Love.
Oh, come on, coming off the what? Oh no! I literally did it because he's coming off the bench, and then he's got big men like Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. But dang, I should.
That was okay. All right, Jalen Smith or DeAndre Ayton.
Jalen Smith plays for the
Indiana.
I'm gonna go Jalen Smith.
Correct.
Yep. Boom! Let's go. Because DeAndre, nothing against DeAndre Ayton, but I think he's becoming more of like a scoring big man. Where he's
for sure.
But he gets his rebound. He gets his little double sometimes. But I'm gonna go Jalen Smith. So
all right, we'll go with LeBron James or Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
LeBron James.
What?
Yeah.
What? What?
I'm just telling you the stats.
What's the stat? What's the stat line?
LeBron is at 8.9. Doncic is at 8.4.
Oh,
close, man. It's close. It's close. That's close
because it's crazy because Luka Doncic is literally almost averaging a triple double.
Yeah, I know. We'll go Evan Mobley or Bobby Portis.
Ooh.
It's honestly, it's not even close.
It's not.
Well, it's not as close as you would think.
Evan Mobley. No, it's not.
Bobby
Evan
Portis
Mobley?
is 6th in rebounds at 11.1, and Evan Mobley is 49th at 6.6. Which I was kind of shocked he's only averaging 6 rebounds a game.
Yeah, but dang. I need to watch more Cavs because one, they're doing good, and that's embarrassing for me.
Want to do one more rebound that had that assist, or
let's do assists. Let's move on to assists, and then we'll end it at assists. Okay. Then we'll end it at assists.
All right, let's do it. Assist leaders. Okay. Do I want to start off tricky or do I want to start off let's see here. Oh man. Okay. We got, what are we looking at? Chris Paul and Nikola Jokic.
Chris Paul.
Correct. Yeah,
because he just had like a 15.
Yeah, that 15. It's only by it's close though. Chris Paul's 4th in the league. Jokic is 5, but it's right there. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna go with Kevin Durant or Karis LeVert.
Both guys that are more scoring dominant than passing. I'm gonna go Durant.
Karis LeVert's 25th in the league in assists. Kevin Durant is 44th.
I sound so.
I
don't sound so smart with this. My basketball knowledge is down right now.
Oh man. Okay, we'll go with Pascal Siakam.
In assists?
In assists, or Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, this is a trick one because Giannis. I'm gonna go Giannis.
Siakam's 9th in the league.
I sound so bad on this thing. So many people are gonna say things about me not knowing anything.
But like all these are like,
those are tricky. But that's what makes this segment fun. Because it's like you wouldn't expect this. Because everyone kind of does what their expectations are like. Oh, okay, Giannis, the way he plays, Siakam. Okay, yeah. But I could see that happening.
Well, we got Ja Morant or Steph Curry. Tough one.
Oh no, this is not a tough one. This shouldn't be a tough one. Ja Morant.
Correct.
Okay, I was about to say that better not be Steph. Nothing against Steph. I know Steph has passed the ball. He's doing his thing, but Ja Morant's doing more of it and dropping like 30.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
You want to end on one more?
Let's do one more. One more. Do one fun one. One more, and then we'll.
I'm gonna trick your brain
do
here.
A little close off.
All right, awesome. We're gonna go with Malik Monk.
Oh my gosh.
Or Dennis Smith Jr. This one's getting your brain going a little bit.
Yeah, it does, because Dennis Smith has been playing a lot more with LaMelo Ball out, but Malik Monk has been getting a lot more minutes with the Kings.
Yeah, he's in Sacramento.
He's in Sacramento. I am going to go with... You know what? Because of his role, I'm gonna go Dennis Smith Jr.
Correct. Hey,
and now with a bang.
We'll end that segment with you getting it correct. I thought you were pretty solid. So they were pretty tricky, some of them. I was surprised the one that really surprised me was the Desmond Bane one. I know Bane's been killing it, but most people would have just said LeBron because it's LeBron. So
but Desmond. I saw a crazy stat on Shout out to StatMuse on Twitter. They had this stat about all the guys that got drafted in that drafts with Desmond Bane, and they're all averaging like crazy numbers right now.
Bane's been killing it. Bane, that backcourt, been killing it.
Oh, I know.
Who would have thought?
But hey man,
hey,
the ending of our first official podcast. You got any last thoughts?
One more thing I would say, make sure you follow the IG again at the.hoopin.podcast on IG. More platforms coming soon. We just made the new YouTube channel. That'll be up soon. Tune in, and this will be released on platforms coming soon.
Yes, that is all coming soon, very, very soon. We have very high expectations out of this podcast, and thank you for tuning in to the Hoopin' Podcast with Mike and Bri. I hope everyone has a great night, and
we'll be back soon.
Everybody just keep on hooping. Let's get it.